get that up, start the stream, and nothing happened. They both went up at the exact same time, and no one can prove otherwise.
Not a mix-up. Oh. Oh, what? You had it, brother. Oh, what? You had it, brother.
Wait, why are you playing audio? No, do not echo. Stop that. Stream, please. Yeah, okay. I'll do a little bit of QM because I've got everything set up. Actually, I forgot QM. Put myself on full screen for just a little bit.
Whoa.
Boom.
This is casuals.
QM, come on. Don't be boring. Give it like another minute. If nothing happens, I guess I'm swapping to Vader, because that might be where all the QMers are. Oh, someone joined. Maybe. It's 110 minutes, whatever. Oh, it's Silver. Would you look at that? Need to work on my squad offense. I've been sniped.
No.
That gift. Stop stenciling there.
They still solos.
Yeah, because I need to. This is the biggest character for me to work on. Predictively dashing to deal with quick locks. Because the others, I can kind of get away. Oh, I didn't have time to snap. I can kind of get away with like doing specials and assists, but Squiggly, you can't do that. If I stab someone, I get push blocked. I'm just pressure going.
That.
Trade. My toes. Into the corner you go. Pop up.
Okay.
Surely I don't pop that. Oh, that's something. That's not the quarter circle. Meshing. That doesn't hit. Right, it doesn't assist. I know that. Squiggly moment.
Oh god.
Oops, that was a little bit stinky. My dome. Why was I blocking low? She just ran at me. And I didn't do anything.
Push up. Nah.
Mashing. That's strange.
Drop it. Red. That works too.
I thought PBG's job would work there. Clearly, no wrong. Absolute guard, why have you forsaken me? Oh, really?
Why does Cat Bite post and look real forgiving?
What the? Oh, that was a mistake. Block. Solo Swiggly deals a little bit of damage.
Just straight, this cannot be real. Yes. You tell us no. We will say yes.
By order of JP.
The only way you're gonna experience it is in a controlled environment. Might as well do it here.
Sure. My medium gate.
Enjoy.
Every time I try and do that, they get hit by it. And it ruins everything.
You can't expect people to know.
It's same side man.
That's why it's okay to just do the layer 1 instead of the layer 3.
That's funny. That was actually reversed. That's just unfortunate. One more game, and then I think we'll get on started. I still need to predictably dash block. I canceled that really early, but I think I have OTG. Oop, whoopsies.
Oh my god. What an anti-air that
I really like
really
Squiggly
isn't
Stand Heavy. I like using it in that matchup specifically. Because they just love getting above you and landing on you, and that catches them. You don't really get confirms after it, but it's something I've like dabbled with, actually really like.
It's a pretty good respect me button. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
If only Squiggly build bar.
That's like one of the biggest things I've noticed playing solo. I'm just like, oh my god, I never have meter.
I really do have to represent spaghetti for that.
That's not the right quarter circle. Nope.
Whoops. Goodbye. It's over.
Rude. Post-mortem. I mean, if any character can do it, it's Squiggly. Makes sense.
Okay.
GG, Sylvie. I think there's a chance we have Rupert as well. So I'll make it a 5-man. Nope, nope, nope. Gotta go back to settings. Gotta go back to settings. Gotta change my video settings. So I can actually alt-tab. Now we go. Spin. Do that there.
Hello, friends. Well, that takes care of the things. Welcome, everybody, officially to Skullgirls Get Gr8.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. We do not have the
our
Rupert.
form. Do the thing. We match you up with opponents of about equal skill. We give you advice for your play and where to go next.
Yeah.
My voice died in the last 2 weeks, so I'm gonna be here for a little bit until like my voice gave out.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like you're taking care of yourself. We got Silvermane and Pinkroyd starting off in intermediate. Hello, the males.
Just for a little bit, just for a little bit. I lost
for a
my
little
voice. I don't know. I contracted some kind of cold, so my voice is gonna be cracking for a bit. But I'm gonna be here for a little bit, probably for like 30 minutes, because I'm sure it's gonna give out in that time span.
You will play the problem match. Screenshot. This cannot be real. Good to
True.
know.
We can do that.
King Droid.
We got ourselves
Hey,
King Droid. There.
all you gotta do is complain, and they show up. Let's go. No wonder TOs just complain everywhere.
Let's go.
Alright, we got 3 flat matches today, and I don't think any of these gamers are asking for anything specifically. Yeah.
Anything
So just
no.
good old round advice. I remember
Swiggly in the back.
the bits for Silver Ring. It's been a while since I've seen King Droid play right off Concho.
Eight.
Oh, unfortunate drop. And we're in.
No 5 today because we got a fair whack of gamers.
Yep. Only 3.
Squiggles.
Terrible
Oh my!
ally.
How did you narrowly escape the orb? That's
We
insane.
move.
Hitbox manipulation.
Mix. We've gone low every time. We go overhead, but get mashed on.
Hey, goodbye, Phillips.
Oh, this time just let the King Droid. Unfortunate.
Hey, oh, we kind of sort of finished the combo.
You had a blue bounce there, Silver Wing, so you could have opted to tech out of the corner if you wanted to. An important thing to keep in mind in this game. Low behind.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, sorry. Oh, let us spend the bar.
Oh, nice. Oh, no, confirm. That's stand medium kick, isn't it?
Rip swords. We have 5 bar. 5 meter. You have metered options you can be using against your opponent. We're available.
Pop, 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 pop. Squiggly? Squiggly. Get charge? No, just playing it safe. You know what? Fair enough.
No, we just play, do the thing. That's fair.
Oh!
Although I feel like it would behoove you to get your resources up because she becomes the better player.
Yeah.
Or the better character.
If there's a weight to push it on, it's lights. Lights bounce really nicely on SPO.
Yeah.
But I can understand not wanting to because I've dropped there more times than I would like to admit.
Understandably, it's a very awkward conversion situation.
Yeah, a decent amount of hits and then kind of just not fully converting is mostly what I'm seeing. So we're still ironing out the kinks of our hit confirms and our combos. Looks like when you both intend to go to mix, you understand your mix though, which is good.
No time.
Patient round start, avoid the concho, didn't punish it.
We can pick up after people's up. What?
Is this a combo? It do?
It is combo. Yeah, you can combo after people's up. Whoa.
Oh, unfortunate. Good bush block.
Oh, shot. Okay. No. Ooh. Rippy.
Dash up D drop. Makes sense.
Let's go. But, hey. Oh, no.
Yeah, gotta delay it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
no. That was such a birthday. Oof. Oh.
You gotta
So
actually do a
react-
command throw after.
Yeah. You did the right thing by doing 5 HP, which forces the line cancel, but we didn't go to NGR to actually take advantage of it. Make sure you if you see the hit, try to be confident in those hits. Ah, we're not jumping.
360.
For something spectacular.
We're a little bit afraid and unsure on Silver Ring side. And I think our spacing's looking better than when I last talked about, but we're still not quite at the point where we're comfy hitting buttons. Our Philia is there, the rest of the characters not so much.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress. You're feeling it out.
He's fair.
Punch. Okay, not a punish, but we get the hit. Go for mix. I haven't noticed you did this versus me as well. You've been going for IAD jump medium punch, and that's not really the best overhead. Good avoid and punish. I will note, as a habit, you tend to go low off of that mix a lot. Great match, though.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh no, we should know that. Good roll.
Yeah. If you want to keep it real consistent, I'd just recommend picking up a kick there.
Yeah.
Oh. Good delay, King.
For King Droid is just after MGR. There's actually a different combo you could be doing where you can net some more hits rather than going straight to the end district. That takes a little bit of looking at the resources. Can be done. Ah, you gotta convert it off of it. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no block! Oh. Three? No. Spend the bar. If you've got the bar to spend to kill the character, please kill the character.
That's so
The
unfortunate.
wall?
Your jab didn't actually hit.
Right? The wall, sheesh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. A little bit tentative. So yeah, for Silver Wing, I think again it's a little bit more, you're honestly getting in the position for your buttons to work. And you're just a little bit uneasy with when to push them. But you're getting the hit, especially with Philia, and it's going good. Would suggest going overhead a bit more. All of these IID jump medium punch supposed to be fast fall. I understand. Okay.
Okay, fast falls. Rip. That's fair.
Some
Sometimes
days
you're
it's like that.
just not accustomed just yet.
Yeah, there's that, and it's like you're there, and it just needs a little bit of more polish, which has kind of been the story. But I'm still seeing definite improvements, and I think I'd feel comfortable saying you can sign up for intermediate, because I don't know if you sign up for beginner, how much beginner advice you're actually going to be getting all that much anymore. Because
Right.
we can keep telling you the things you've already heard, where it's iron out your combos, make sure they're a little bit more consistent. And I know you do that in lab. You like to lab the game a lot, and so it's honestly, I think the best thing you can be doing is just playing more actual games or playing versus bots, because just getting it down in the motion of matches rather than in the controlled environment of lab will help. But I mean, you're not doing a lot of the other things we try and focus on beginners for. You're keeping your block strings decently safe. You're calling assists to cover when you realize you've overextended a little bit. I mean, these are all like the checklist of things we try and pay attention to for beginners. You're through the majority of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some days your hands ain't there. I feel that.
it takes a lot of time for the muscle memory to build up. So like, don't discount yourself. It's gonna take some time, like most things.
It's a part of the process.
It is part of the process. As soon as you start playing more games, though, the practicality of it will actually like you'll at some point it'll just click, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah. And then I think it's similar advice for King Droid, where I would see your neutrals being a little bit more unsafe. You really like going for Concho, which is not the greatest neutral option. Might encourage you to think about playing a little bit more patient. Get a little bit of space with run stop, but not commit over than that. And then actually try and play neutral with your big slappy buttons, 6 heavy punch, jump medium punch. See if you can eventually get into footsie rain to stab people's toes with 2LK, that sort of thing. Be the scary, angry grappler that just slowly walks you down, because that's what Bella's built for in this game.
Pretty decent.
And then
Back is television. That's fair.
yeah. I mean, step 1 is being aware of it. Step 2 is going, okay, in game, like a little bit of a slap yourself on the wrist when you go for it. Bad.
Right. Like, I shouldn't be doing this. Like the small goal I'm supposed to achieve is not being achieved.
Yeah. It's there's a time and a place for Contra. Neutral typically isn't it? It's like the little bit of chaos to sprinkle in once you think they're way too afraid to do anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a very good mix-up tool, if anything.
Yeah.
Though tossing down neutral is just far too much committal. That'll just net you getting punished, which is not the position you want to be putting yourself in. Yeah, I must last.
But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for y'all. I know it's not like the most actionable advice, but you're at the stage of the game where it's getting there a little bit more time, just feet on the fire, and it'll start making a lot more sense.
Yes. And I think that at this current juncture, play more games. Just play people. Just play a bunch of people. You get used to the feel of the game, and then it'll start opening up to you.
All right. If y'all have any other questions, please let us know. Otherwise, we're going to start moving on to the next one. Please tell me I pinned the lobby. I did not pin the lobby. Oops.
What's this guy? The Mail versus Straight. It's literally the AOL Mail icon. That's great. That's amazing. I love this. It's beautiful.
Y'all are good to go.
Hit the ready up button.
Any specific for these gamers? Nope. Another good old rounder. Glad to be back, Straight King.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Alright.
Straight said no peacock, so I said peacock.
You all learn today. Oh,
You will
first,
learn today. You have to put yourself in.
yeah, first big thing to pay attention to. If you ever get put in a knockdown state, teching forward is already a great habit to get in versus cat or versus peacock. Even if you're teching into a projectile, you're getting that screen space. Just block it and then move on.
True.
Oh, punish. That's a jab.
You're done. Hey. Boosh. Level 1? You have to level 1, yeah.
Right direction too. That's nice.
Keep the corner. A lot of pressure. It's not exactly quarter pressure, but that's okay. Backing up kind of gives up the neutral. So if you've got the quarter pressure, do something that'll actually like threaten whatever opponent incoming has got going on. So like doing JHK and then flush that is like a pretty decent option. Or if you've got the meter, do monster, the classic no mix.
Layer 1, I would always recommend doing a meaty option. Once you've figured out they're just not going to press anymore, that's when you get to start doing the really silly backdash, forward dash under them.
Yeah. Sage with the raid, appreciate you, brother.
Much appreciated.
Oh no, wrong Luger. If you find the opposite double is actually just in the air for the most part, H Luger is your friend. Anti-airing them is very good for them.
Trading Lugers, walking back with
So
Avery.
be careful about your approaches.
Oh, yeah. Good air, or good ground throw.
Oh.
Confirm.
Blocking? Nice
All
block.
this heavy counter hit. Alright,
No,
this
like-
is probably about the stage of the game where you might want to be thinking about routing a little bit more. Even if you don't want to learn a full heavy counter hit route, highly recommend at least getting the counter hit on a heavy button. It gives you more undizzy to work with, where if you get through the majority of your route, you'll still have undizzy if you decide to reset. and it's just an extra 500 damage compared to an extra like 100 damage because you get 50% more on the counter hit button itself. So even if you don't feel comfortable committing the time to learning full heavy counter hit routes, when it comes to blocking things like car or SSJ, things you know you're just going to get a free hit afterwards, start with the heavy button. It's a great habit to get into.
Like, even if you don't know a heavy counter hit, hitting the heavy button alone is huge.
Yep. Alright. So,
Random.
yeah. Straight one thing is I would stay on the ground a lot more versus the peacock until you see the projectiles you need to get over.
Oh, oops.
Like that. But you covered so much ground space just running at them. Oh, slightly. Tech forward. Love to see it. Good confirm.
Oh, drop it. Oh no. You're dope. Cut the back. Oh, that was huge. That was a really good backdash.
Yeah. Be very aware of doing that mix straight. Double jumps and air dashes, and to that point, air supers kind of murder it. Good block. That was...
Straight's got the issue that Aki has, where they said, what's an undizzy bar? And they would like to reset very, very, very early. Building up a dizzy bar means you're building up damage, so put some more hits into it. If you're like up to like halfway on dizzy, I feel like that's a good chunk of damage you do to your opponent. And that's like a decent time to reset. Unless you're like, you're at the end of like a dizzy, you're like, I can't kill just yet, and then I have to do one more shot.
Early resets are kind of if you think you're catching your opponent off guard. They're something you're not expecting it to get the maximum amount of damage off of. If you go for it too early, you're not going that far into scaling, and so you're not actually catching on the most important parts in the front loaded combo. Also, you are duo ratio double with 3 bar. That final reset probably was extra. Really important thing to know is when you can kill a character and end the game. Because if you go for extra mix and you give another team that extra chance, this is a robbery game and you are asking to get robbed.
Yes. Yeah.
Be very aware of your damage values and why you would attempt to go for a mix. Because if you want to be greedy and save your bar to kill the final character, I can understand that. It's a greedy decision, don't get me wrong. But it's understandable. When it's the final character and you can just get them gone, highly recommend just finishing the game.
Yes. Do finish your food. Don't be me, where I'm just like, I want to set an example and not finish the food.
Yeah, so again, straight, I think one of the reasons you are struggling to deal with this matchup is you are jumping a lot.
Oh no.
When you really don't need to. Gato catches them?
Yeah. Male's kind of going for these it's like not greatly timed punch moves. Like, we want to get out of pressure, and that's understandable, but just push blocking alone can actually send the opponent away far enough where you can just teleport out. So you don't always need to rely on punch move.
You have a ton of other tools. Neutral jumping and half your buttons are just really obnoxious to contest if you're paying attention to your opponent's habits. So if you wanted to do that straight, I would honestly recommend good dive kick. Doing Cat Scratch Fever into Beam Super or Pillar of Creation, depending on what the Peacock was doing at the time.
Let's grip tech.
We're in.
Hello, we did block. Oh.
Counter hit. Throw.
We are
got
duo
5
with
bar.
5 bar. We do not need to be resetting.
Got the backdash. Cat Scratch. Monster. Keep the hit. Plus the mix.
one of the bigger things, aside from just knowing your damage values, is also knowing what ratio you are. So you can actually be doing way more damage with the Streelings than you, and you can kill.
Like, look at how much damage this is gonna do.
This is gonna do like half of double sound bar. Bonk. So understanding when you're able to kill, especially during the ratio, it's like super huge for you. It'll actually take 2 touches for a duo to kill trio, depending on what you got going on.
Your offensive pressure is really solid, and I think you just actually need to couple that with
Good block.
punishes. Okay,
That's
so if the Annie does beam super, it will push you away. If you push block the beam super, you will stop getting moved. If the Annie beam super is just long enough for you to push block it twice, stay exactly where you are, and PBGC to get a button out fast afterwards. So there you could have gotten a 2 HP and actually punished the Annie super. And that's an important concept to understand for a lot of different supers. That's how you punish Parasol, Pillar, into bikes. It's how you punish Fuqua Fireball. It's how you can punish things like Argus or Robo Beam Super. Incredibly important to understand. So when you start seeing stuff like that, get in your head, like, is this unsafe if I stay close? And then start push blocking it. Obviously, DHCs mess it up a little bit, but you force them to DHC if you start push blocking. You force them to spend that extra bar. Because some people will pay attention, and if you don't, they understand so they can be greedy and get away with it scot-free.
Right.
But yeah, so that was the 3 games for straight, especially for the P matchup. Again, I think you were going into the air way too much. Your fortune is just really jump happy in general, but staying on the ground versus Peacock allows you to just sprint at her on the ground. You go under the H George. Basically every character's dash speed is too fast for item drop tracking, for H item. So it's really helpful to stay on the ground until you need to get over L George, H George, the stand heavy punch projectile. And then once you're in the air, you can use your other air mobility to then avoid H George and avoid item drop, or if you block the item drop, it actually vacuums you forward, so you're not super upset if you block it. It pulls you to the ground and a little bit closer, so it's kind of just like, okay, keep going. And even if you do have to block any of the projectiles, it's not the end of the world. You might have to take 1 rotation. They don't actually have that much push block or push back, so don't push block them, and then just keep moving forward. That's the same thing with Robo Beams. It's like, if Robo hits you with a beam, yes, you took a bit of chip damage, but she's still minus even if she hits you. So you just gotta keep trucking forward.
Yeah.
And the other part to that staying too much in the air is you would double jump to try and pressure in the corner, and the Peacock would just teleport behind you because you committed all of your air mobility. And then she was out of the corner scot-free after you spent the entire game running her into that corner in the first place. Yeah, and it's not just for Fortune, but every character, like, it's true for Annie as well. It's just a good habit to be in, to not use your mobility tools until you need to.
Yeah.
And then do a dash up low every now and again. You did like 5 IAD jump light kick Gatos on repeat. If someone's really tuned into that, and you all of a sudden decide to mix it up and just run up 2 LK, they're gonna explode.
Yeah. Conditioning.
But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, especially because that's the problem matchup you need to learn how to deal with. Try and dabble with that, and it should help a lot. Yeah, PBGC is something you kind of just learn. If you want to like brute force iron it out, you can just go into training lobby and set Philia to hairball recording, Bella to Seracopter, or if you want to try making sure you're timing a reversal well or getting the input consistent, you can do it to Cerebella Dynamo, the super. And so it's like if you get the invincible move out, you will beat it. But if you flub it, you get hit. And so it's like that's kind of one of the things to just practice a little bit. And then for males, I think default zoning pattern was good. You can afford to get M item up more. M item is really annoying to approach under, and it kind of buys you the time to go, all right, they're pausing for a second. I'm going to take my turn and try and like fight for space, open them up, or get myself out of the corner. That is your like yellow light, think about your offense to the opponent so they can't just run at you. Getting used to doing that will make people approaching you so much harder. That's one thing I feel like I didn't see all that often. We talked a lot about recognizing your damage values, something you'll get as you play, but want you to be thinking about it as you're playing, going, wait, why am I resetting here? They're just dead. It's a really good mindset to get into, especially as someone who's playing a positive ratio. It's a major benefit to not be playing the trio. You have anything else?
I think the way that you're using double L bomber, not that it's not correct, but it's not assisting your zoning in the way that you want it to assist. That's why people mostly use M bomber or H bomber, because it's got the full screen reach, and it makes the zoning pattern a lot more annoying to deal with. It is much more rough if it's up close, so it really is just a kind of more like a far away tool. If you're trying to use it as like a reversal assist, that's fine, but it doesn't cover the space that it should. Is the thing. So thinking about what kind of assists you want double to be able to fill the gaps in your zoning pattern. Solely as a DP assist, that's fair, but the way that you're using it doesn't seem like it. So if it's for you to get the like it's your get me out of pressure kind of thing, you didn't really use it like that, because you mostly kind of defaulted to using M-bang after like push block. So like if you're gonna block some stuff, right? That's what you should be calling your assist if you want it as like solely as reversible assist.
I think one thing you can also do is do M-bang plus assist. That sounds really annoying to deal with. M-bang
It's
plus
extremely
bomber.
annoying. Yeah, it gives you meat shield, and Peacock can just about recover to be able to teleport out or like up forward and stuff.
And L-bomber hits just high enough for people who are like trying to skirt over it to get caught by the bomber instead, and then they're just like, well, pain.
That's pretty good. Just something I noticed.
Yeah. And again, if y'all have any questions now or after you watch the games through, just shoot us a ping and we'll get on it sometime soon. Can't promise an immediate response, but we'll try and have one timely. And that being said, we are on to the next one. Suki versus Renegona. Every time I say that name, I just like try and say Runa, and I was like, no.
Right. Renegade. Sounds like they're trying to say Renegon, and it's like it's a Naruto thing. Renegon.
Suki coming.
Suki's on the way. I'm playing Suki a little bit and running their team. Team is really cool.
Yeah, I've been watching them. I've seen them a couple times. Renegona's also coming. Let's go. But for whatever reason, I can't remember their team off the top of my head.
There's a Parasol Bella Fillers. You're in beta, brother. Run retail.
Retail gaming. Parabellophilia. Yeah.
Here. Does the damage. You can do the do they go by Emma now? We can do that Emma thing. And do what do we call it? Quake into Bella, back edge K for the massive damage corner carry.
That route is so hard though. That route is actually so finicky. I could never get it consistent.
So great. You saw me do it? Yeah.
But yeah.
It's very good.
Mandatory disclaimer. We understand not everyone can get Wi-Fi, but get wired. Would just like to remind you that if you can get wired, we highly encourage it because it just helps improve the consistency of the match for both players, and so y'all can play better, and we can give advice based on y'all playing at your best. Again, if it's not possible, completely understood. That's why we don't have a wired lock for Get Great. Don't want to keep that from you getting advice.
Yes. We understand. It happened. I was a Wi-Fi gamer for like 2,000 hours of my thing.
Yeah, Ethernet plug broken. That happens. No worries.
I'm so sorry. It's okay.
That is painful.
Sometimes it's just pain. Robot. Okay. Squeaks in the middle. It's interesting.
I like swinging mid. Over back in mid, especially. Mix.
Picture.
Go for low. Good.
That was really good. That was a good PvC. Ooh,
that's nice. So rude.
I was a really good conversion, but not the right routing for you to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is rude, brother. Hey. Ooh, side switch. The Liam.
Oh, that's yeah. Instead of doing the rejump, you could have landed dumb M danger and then done the final string after that. That is the very standard robo. I'm gonna restand you with 20 and Dizzy left.
Oh,
yeah. Good block.
It's so rude.
Oh, dash up. Oh.
Uh-oh. Nope.
Early mix. Take the corner. Honestly, yeah, this is really sketchy. I would have liked you to route into Dynamo and then used OTG and mixed with Bella from there. You would have gotten your character out pretty safely.
Yeah.
DHC, kill the character, I agree. You were pressing a lot on it.
That was a good jab.
Mix. Got caught watching. That's what happens versus Philia.
That's hard.
I didn't change the stream title. I knew there was something I forgot to do. I just now saw it. What have I done?
Okay.
Alright, I'm fixing it. It's getting fixed.
The problem with it is like it keeps the original title even if you change it post.
It keeps it for the VOD, but not for the stream itself. And for the people searching the stream. So
right.
But I mean, the good part is the YouTube was titled properly, so that's not a big deal.
Right. At least.
Practice and about it. Hell yeah.
Good stuff. Small goal achieved. Good job.
Wait, what are we doing for Monster? Yeah.
Decent rubber house.
Oh, we gotta tech those.
No, it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard, but it's a very important part of this game. Knowing which air normals. Yeah. Let's get a trade. Knowing which air normals you can tech. So right off the bat. Parasol jump heavy punch. Fortune jump heavy kick. Those are two pretty important ones to know. Yep. Do the beam, hit both characters. That tag could have been punishable. Good PBGC.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's so
good
unfortunate.
Job. Hey, good stuff. You know, cool.
we wanted the PBGC Daisy and accidentally got the punch first.
Uh-oh.
That, I think you could have daisied there and actually reached and punished.
Yeah.
That's... Daisy is not a great match option, but it is a phenomenal... Yeah, I was about to say, you've been calling Eliza so much. Not only does she hit herself... Oh, if we daisied there, that was the hit.
Yeah, that was the option right there, the daisy. Oh, you had to hit them.
Yeah. So I think a big thing to think about for you, Murnagona, is when and how you're calling your assist, keeping in mind how much damage they've taken and how much damage you can prevent them from taking once you call them. Because if you call an assist and you can't defend it, it's going to take a lot of abuse. Went for the anti-air, they played it patient. I think we might need to be a little bit more patient on defense for Renegona.
Yeah.
I'm noticing they press a lot. And this is one of the things where I'll describe it as a dial, where you want to tune how much you mash, because it will change from player to player from different points of the set. But there's still doing it too much consistently. And I mean, the biggest way to notice that and that you need to turn it down is just pay attention to how often you're getting counter hit. Pay attention to how many red hearts and how many times your character just flashes red. Because if it's happening really frequently, that should be, oh crap, I'm like just destroying my character's life bars. I gotta tone this down. And then they start changing their offense, you notice you can start pressing a little bit more again, and so that's kind of when you start turning the dial back up. And so this is a really important thing, thinking about how often you're contesting.
Oh, drop it.
Oh, that's so weird.
Attack.
Yeah, return to beams.
Movement.
Yeah, we are calling Eliza. I think one of the reasons she's hurting so much is we're calling her full screen when she's not really actually covering anything yet.
Yeah. We're almost using it like brass, which is not supposed to be the way that you want to use Eliza like that. You gotta let her recover some health at least a little bit. Nice. Simple. Oh, that messed you up. No, you should not have called assist.
Yeah. You knew what you were doing. Accidentally just got the assist. Does this kill? Okay, it does.
It does indeed. It does a lot of damage. Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, that's weird to pick up off of.
Punish. Yes.
One thing to think about, especially for Axe, is actually just sweeping the assist in neutral, because that will break it like it does for point. And so you can kind of not respect it as much. It works for Butchers too, it's just a little bit harder because it's slower and the hitbox is harder to sweep sometimes. But
I need you to work on your hit confirms. You have all of these hits, but you're not capitalizing on any of them.
We went for a burst bait when we had 5 bar, probably could have killed instead.
5 bar. Whoa, that was a good air salt. Uh-oh. No, parasol.
Oh, overhead.
Baha?
Unfortunate. Yeah, a little bit too late. It happens.
Oh, nice.
And again, the curse of calling our Eliza so much has come back to bite us.
Yeah.
She came in with 75%
we drop it.
of her health.
No, we drop it.
That's a cut.
Okay, well.
Yeah, instead of doing Eliza level 3 there, that's a cut. Understanding cut ranges and when you can do it is a really important thing for Eliza. I see that and my brain immediately goes as DP hard punch. But yeah, that was a bit scrambly. You were kind of just fishing for things and you might not have even wanted that initial push block. And I can understand that.
Yes, that was flat 3, brother.
Yeah, just 3 games. Because unfortunately, when this gets too many people, if we go to 5 games, that ends up taking like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we're here for about 2-3 hours, sometimes like 4.
So as much as we love to give advice, we only have a finite amount of time. So Robo, like, she's a zoner, but I think of her as much more of a movement zoner than a peacock where she's like a projectile zoner. Robo makes it really obnoxious to get to her, but part of that is because of just how strong her movement is. And so if you watch Catpie, who's Catpie and PME both, two of the best robos, they don't actually beam as much as you think they would. They are picking and choosing where they beam very carefully, and they spend most of the time using their movement to get to a safe place to allow them to do that. Robo has like her helicopter, her ground dash is it's the fastest in the game.
Yeah.
Among other things, or like her double jump and falling normals are incredibly strong, so she can put herself in really convenient positions for herself. And so I would encourage you to think about doing that. I like the beam at the start. Like if you're doing full screen and you were doing TK beam or jump type beams, that's understandable. Like that's where you want to be. But they start approaching. Biggest first adjustment would be don't call Eliza with your first beam. Because on your full screen, that axe is going to do nothing. Not only is it going to do nothing for neutral, it is putting your assists on lockout. Because when Sekhmet assist is used, her taking damage acts like your assist is taking damage, and your assists are put on lockout for longer. So you really need to be deliberate with when you use your axe. And so if you use it when it has no threat whatsoever, you're locking yourself out of assist for an incredibly long time. And Robo is a good zoner, but she really shines when she has assists. That's why you don't see solo Robos really end up getting much done, because when people are forced to respect the assist, that's when she's allowed to move a lot more freely. And so that's how she gets herself out of a lot of trouble. And so I would think about zoning like that rather than, oh, I'm going to have a wall of beams and they can't get through to me. It's more, I'm just going to be as much of a gnat, an annoying like insect as possible, get chip where I can, but do my best to keep myself safe. That is first and foremost for Robo. And again, I think your assist usage, if you change it, you'll feel how much it can help. Yeah, run away.
Yep.
But sometimes you also need to go forward. You need to figure out how they're trying to get through your beams, and then figure out if you can go over them or under them, because you only have so much of the screen to run before you run yourself into the corner. And you ideally want to bail before you force yourself in the corner.
Yeah.
Because at that point, they know you only have one option, which is to try and get the hell out of dodge. Probo's a hard character to play really effectively, so it's a learning process. And then for the rest of the characters, I'd say again, I think you're just trying to press your way out of defense a little bit too much. Tone it down, block a little bit more, push block some more, play it patient. And if you're able to block a lot of things and get people away from you with good push blocks, you'll find yourself just free a lot more than you think you will. Whereas like right now your game plan is a bit feast or famine. It's like if you press right and they're not doing good meaty pressure, you're probably running through those opponents. But the second all of a sudden you're pressing and getting counter hit, those characters are dying really fast and there's no in between. So think about how much you're getting counter hit and toning it down will help you even out some games somewhere. And then for Suki's side, I'm trying to remember, so if you have things to say, go ahead.
For the most part, when we're for Suki, I feel like earlier on, I told Suki that empty jumping was a good thing, but you can also empty jump and block, so you don't necessarily have to like take any of the incoming potential damage that's happening against your opponent. So you press the up forward button, you landed, and then you got hit, and usually it was because he didn't block, because a lot of the counter hits did not happen in those interactions. So you get up forward, immediately press back, and that becomes kind of like a strong tool for your toolkit, because then you can bait a lot of options that the opponent's going to be doing. Aside from that, we had a lot of missed potential confirms, especially on Philly's end. So we had the crouch 2 okay, you saw it happen, and then we didn't press a button to follow up. So there's a couple of like button sequences you can press that will both keep you safe and also will confirm it to each other so that you can get the hit more reliably. So practicing your hit confirms super important, especially single hit confirms. But this is really hard. But yeah, like standing mini punch like pushes the opponent further away a little bit, but it's also plus on block. So pressing that kind of button is pretty decent. But you'd also just press other buttons to be able to make your pressure sequence a little safer. And then if you see that you got the hit, you can actually continue pressing other buttons. But that's hard. I'm gonna let you know right now. Practicing single hit confirms is pretty difficult, but if you like make that your small goal in the matches that you play, you'll find yourself getting the hit more reliably, and then you can actually do more stuff. Other thing,
I think it was mostly 1 or 2 games, but thinking about getting characters out and then keeping them safe. First or second game, I commented I would rather you DHC into Dynamo, use OTG to continue the combo and mix from there, because it would have allowed you to get your Parasol out and save her. And then in one of the final games, you called Parasol in the corner and she just died because you didn't realize how low she was.
Yeah.
So understanding characters' life, how to maintain them, and how to best end up using life as a resource. Because the more life you can get back, it's not just that. The more you get hit, the more meter you get. It snowballs into a lot of different things. So keeping your characters alive can be a really good tool. Sometimes there's a time and place to just use your assist until it dies. Don't get me wrong. But I'd rather you default to keeping them safe and then have a reason to get them killed, rather than call them willy-nilly until you have to really think about, okay, I need to keep them safe. One is a lot better to have as an autopilot than the other. And we got the other 2 gamers in here, and we are good to go.
Good to go. Axe is not well. Carpenter's Axe is a lockdown. Yeah, if you mean Butcher's Blade, that's a lockdown assist. Axe is not a lockdown assist. It's more like your damage tool. So like if you want to do long range hit confirms and continue comboing, that's what you would use Axe for. It's not really you don't call Axe like you call Brass.
Yeah. Axe is a mix-up. Well, I would say you can call it like you would call Brass, just mid-screen, or you'd call it like you'd call Lock and Load.
Oh yeah.
But those aren't assists I think of as lockdown. I think of them as neutral control. Axe also doubles as a mix assist because it's an overhead. Compared to something like a Seracopter or a Butcher's. Right. It's not forcing them to hold this like repeated blocks, stand in place, and then you get to kind of set up what you want behind it. Good lane cancel. Oh no!
We had the hit. That's very unfortunate. Also, we have to get used to this movement a lot. I think this is the first foray into Robo. 5 HP is a decent get me out of jail tool, but not always in the right situation. You
have to know what mix it can actually beat, because some things, like some Parasol mix, has multi-hits behind it. And so if the mix by itself is going to break the armor, it's important to know it. Also, minor thing for playing versus solos, Molly, I would have recommended you snap and got rid of the red health there. Instead of going for the burst bait mix. Just snap, let them hit the ground, play neutral from there.
You can play neutral. Yeah, the team that you run, Molly, can actually play neutral pretty well.
And it's also just in general, for playing versus solos, the more they're an incredibly momentum-based character, and so it's like they just want that single hit. And if you can just force them to play neutral, you're not taking any rock paper scissors or anything, and you're just slowly whittling down their life and making it really annoying for them to play. That's how you play versus a solo. If you start mixing them a lot and give them chances to mash, especially with their red health mechanic, like if they have a ton of red health left, all of a sudden they can get that health back, play an incoming, and the game can just run away from you really quickly.
Yeah.
In this matchup specifically, Artivula, I would highly recommend super jump heavy kick and try and get in a spot where L beam can just be as annoying as possible.
There we go.
Yep.
For the most part, if you're gonna do jump heavy kick, right? If you hold up, you actually get higher screen movement. So you can go up way higher than the screen allows, so that you can escape a lot of more challenging situations. So hold up forward, you get more out of your copter legs. Oh, kind of had that.
Yeah.
So, Robo also benefits from doing super jump beams. So, if you normal hop, you're actually not defending as much.
I know you're new to the character. A thing to think about practicing is TK beam. It's incredibly useful in some matchups. This is one of them. You were doing a great job of canceling these. And you're just not fully believing in it afterwards.
Yeah, you gotta fully believe. Hey,
the bar.
The bar.
It's a bit of a risky habit to get into. Not as much if you have missiles prepped. But as solo Robo, understanding when people are going to be holding forward and how to use your beam super, because it's got hit stop. If you catch them holding forward, they're taking so much damage. It's honestly one of the things, especially when you see yourself getting way too much meter at the end, you can kind of fish for it in neutral. And if you get the hang of it, if you understand when people are going to start trying to push forward and you catch them dashing right before they dash block and all that sort of stuff, it adds a ton of damage to your zoning, and it makes it that much more frightening to kind of approach you.
Uh-oh.
Fortunate
Oh, we didn't believe.
Another thing to think about, like, it's harder when you're solo, but using 2 medium kick as a space option is really good in neutral. Like, you can footsie with some of the best footsie characters in this game using that button. It's silly.
Uh-oh, we didn't want that. That's right. Yeah, we have to get used to the movement.
Good block.
Oh, 5 HK. Dust. Here's where I'll be snapping for health, to be honest. Yay!
Didn't quite have the meter to kill. Molly, I would have also just level 3 every time you see that.
Yeah.
But this works. Yeah, no, Solo Robo is rough. I can understand wanting to do it to learn the character, but she is a character that having something to facilitate her helps so much. So I can feel the learning the character solo pain. But you're getting there. Just gotta get a feel for the movement a bit more. I think that's, again, the biggest thing. Robo is a movement-intensive character. Fortunately, we didn't really get to see all that much from Molly. We mostly had the tips for playing versus solos. And again, to reiterate, playing versus solos is risk reduction. Yeah, that's the way I think about it as a solo player. The more chances you give me to rob you, the more chances that solo player can take the game and just rob you. Because if you're gonna insist on... Well, not insist, like, I agree with sticking with your team versus solo if you're not used to playing other ratios. If you haven't practiced it as a counter pick, do not change ratio, in my opinion, because you're just not comfortable with it. The amount of times I see someone drop their team to something else when I was playing solo, and I just wiped the floor with them even harder. It was it happens a lot. So, not to say sticking with the trio is a bad idea, but it's you need to understand every roll of the dice is heavily weighted in the solo's player, so you need to give them as few chances to do it as possible. And you were doing a decent job at that, but knowing when you want to snap and just say, I'm not taking the risk, we're going to play neutral one more time, makes sense. And then understanding the reversal option, so I did like that you were doing the mix that would not lose to Saw. Because Robo is a very weak defensive character solo, and so you can kind of keep the pedal on the gas a little bit more.
We're good.
Other than that, yeah. And I'm at Dovad, I believe. I'm not skipping it, right?
My voice has reached its limit.
Good dog.
I must dip.
Appreciate you, gamer. Feel better.
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye. All right. But now we got Dovad versus Open Lobby. So if y'all are a later intermediate player, possibly even a early advanced player, so around 1,000 hours is a pretty good benchmark for this area. Feel free to hop on in. Otherwise, it might just be me versus Dovad again, if no one else wants to take a shot at it. Dovad will be here in just a sec. So if any of y'all want to buy it at the app, feel free to hop on in. Otherwise, I'll give it till like 03 or 04. And then I'll do it to myself. Yeah, I can understand feeling like you're relying too much on the other characters. But some characters who just aren't that self-sufficient, it's kind of hard to learn them playing solo. I'm noticing this playing Squiggly as well, where it's like this character just wants certain things to function, and she can do neutral a little bit more, so it's not quite the same issue, but playing Squiggly without someone else who can partner with her to facilitate her absolutely shoddy meter game is really opening my eyes to just be like, man, some characters aren't like Parasol. Like, I'm so used to playing solo Parasol where she's at least self-sufficient in a lot of ways. And so, again, if you want to stick with the solo Robo, it's going to be a hard road, but you will learn. If you feel like you're stuck and not really understanding things, don't feel bad or like you're cheating or you're over-relying on assists if you need someone else to help facilitate your Robo zoning, because she kind of needs it. It's so hard to get stuff done with just the robot herself. It's kind of just one of those characters who needs that little extra push, but once she gets it, man, is she a solid character. Yeah, that's fair. Just when you're thinking about these things, don't be too hard on yourself and try not to get in your head about it, I guess is the best way to phrase it. Because if you need your assists to help you learn the game a bit more, sometimes going to solo isn't going to necessarily help that problem. It can. So again, if you stick with it and you think you're learning, if you feel like you're still making progress, by all means keep on going. But if you feel like you're stuck and you're getting really upset that It's like, yes, I've been putting time into this solo character, but it's just not really feeling like I'm feeling like seeing the fruits of my labor. Don't feel like it's quitting to go back to using assists, because when you go back to using assists, you might honestly have improved already. And on top of that, you can use that to improve at the game more, to a point where if you then go back to going solo, you may understand the game a bit better and really understand where you need to work on solo. That the whole deal. But I think we don't got anyone for Dovad. So it's looking like it'll just be me. Is there any particular of my teams you'd like to play against Dovad? Any problem character you'd like more practice against or more advice versus? Oh wait, I wasn't looking at YouTube chat. My bad. Fortune team. Okay. Too many chats. I need to get it set up so I can see both, like JP has it. Yeah, okay. Last time we talked about using... I gotta restart real quick. Last time we talked about using M item a bit more to shut me down. You were starting to do that towards the end, but I think you can do it a little bit more. I'm trying to remember. I think I was scolding you a bit for trying to teleport a little too much. It wasn't quite tight, and so you were getting caught, or you should have been getting caught. I think there was a couple times where I should have thrown you, but I didn't quite do it in time. Those are the two main things that stick in my head. So we'll see if those are looking better and if there's anything else that sticks out to me. Steam being Steam. And so yeah, the unfortunate part of this is I will struggle to talk a little bit more while I'm playing. Because I'll obviously be thinking about the game itself. But should still be able to give you a good amount of advice. So let's see what's cooking. Okay. Oh, I'm playing this team. Whoops. Okay. Overcommitted, you're out of the corner. Do pay attention to how much health your brass is losing. Uh-oh. I don't have an item. Oh, that's the wrong throw. Whoops. Double jump there. Good punish. Okay. How are we playing the Robo? Protecting the brass. Good dash up. Good route actually. Overhead. I let go of that for just a second. I was about to be really upset. Okay. That's not off the counter. Keep yourself safe. Don't take any risks. Took too many risks. That's unfortunate. Nice. Yeah. This game is sealed. You just need to be really patient. Yep. Nice. Yeah, you're doing a really good job calling me out and dashing under me with Robo. That's not super good. Something behind all that. Earthworm? Sunset. Man. That was some strength attack. I'm so upset. I really traded there. I should have known. You can saw there, by the way. If you know the Parasol's going to be going for a shot, that's a really good place to be sawing. You gotta bail out of the corner. Oh, what? Dead? You're relying on brass a lot to catch yourself out of some sketchy situations. Good patience. Good jump back here. Oh man. Level 3. Really like the patience there. Not overreacting to anything. But yeah, I mean it is working, but you are... I don't know, I feel like cutting it a bit close, where it's like a good throw call. Didn't get my founder. Dash block, please. Shit's not useful. for that. What hit me? That actually caught me. Not getting through the zoning today. Thought this would have been Argus. Oh no. Yeah, that won't work. I needed to do a special first. Oh, that's just bad on me. Yeah, it was looking a lot better. And I was flubbing a little bit, so those item drops... I mean, you were doing a good job calling them, because they were just barely catching me every single time. Yeah, no, I don't know how much... I mean, you did, like, teleported once, maybe twice in that whole set. The biggest thing was you were over-aggressive at some points. I went for some PBGCs and I didn't quite get them. And if I had, I think you were risking some happy birthdays. Well, specifically the Fortune one, I'm pretty sure that would have been a happy birthday. The others might not have been happy birthdays, but PBGC would have opened you up to at least getting hit. And most of the time your back was to the corner. But I mean, I was flooding it, so you didn't have as much reason to respect it. But like, that's kind of just the openings I felt in that set were mostly you were letting me get a little bit too close and like willingly running at me with the Peacock. Not as much with the Robo. The Robo was more a little bit afraid and then doing a good job getting under me when I was jumping too much. And just relying on the brass a little bit too much on defense. But those, I mean, those are the biggest things that